Hello guys, welcome back to the Cobblestone Chronicles. As always, it's Zueljin, and that's a creeper. I don't want him to blow my stuff up. I think I'd rather just go out the front door over here. um, this episode, guys, I want to make it a little different. I've been getting a few different requests. One of the things that I've noticed in my past episodes is I think I've been concentrating on the tasks at hand a little bit too much. And one of the biggest things about that is it doesn't separate you from the competition. Yeah, I know it's difficult as heck to talk and fight at the same time, but I'm gonna try. It's very I guess you could say boring. A lot of people don't think so. A lot of people think it's calm, but honestly, I want to give you guys a better experience. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is just stay off topic. Not off topic in the fact of not talk about Minecraft at all, but tell you guys just a little bit about what's going on in my life and see how you enjoy that. Now, I'm going to call this an experimental episode because I want you guys' input. I want y'all to let me know in the comments if you like the format or if you would rather that it just goes back to strictly Minecraft. Honestly, coming from the humble guy that is me, I never really thought that anyone would be interested in me personally. I know there would be some interest, but honestly, I don't think my life is really interesting. I suppose it is. I mean, I think it's interesting for me. Naturally, I like it. Outside of the YouTube thing, I mean, I'm a normal guy. I have loads and loads and loads of responsibilities, just like every other adult does. And when you get into your 30s, you tend to pay more attention to stuff like that, I guess you could say. You know, job, household stuff, pretty much everything that, pretty much everything that grown folks do. So I don't know how many of you are my age or older, but for the most part, growing up sucks, it really does. But I mean, we make do. It's all good. I have fun when I can. I'm actually, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. I'm a sales rep, and normally I withhold the names and stuff like that of the companies that I work for publicly, but I don't see any point in holding them back anymore. Honestly, it's really no secret who I work for. I work for AT&T, and their reputation is really that mixed. AT&T is primarily a huge telephone company, both cell phones and home phones, and internet and all of this other stuff. They do TV services now, and they're partnered up with people like DirecTV, which is both good and bad. From a customer standpoint, it's great that you can get discounts and stuff like that. From a standpoint of, I can't place this block. From a standpoint of an employee, it's not the most fun thing in the world. One of the things that I can't stand about it is that the fact that you have to sell all of this junk, even when you don't care for the product that you're actually offering out. And mainly that's what's been going on lately in my life. I haven't been real in love with my job, and everything's kind of shifted. Like, one thing is they changed the pay plan very recently, which sucked. It was never in my life have I not got a promotion and the company compensation plan change, and they say, hey, this is gonna benefit you. Yeah, regardless of what kind of spin they try to put on it, it never benefits you. So it was a pretty drastic pay cut in comparison to what I had been making before, which was no big deal. You'll probably never hear another adult human being say this in their life, but I don't really need the money. The money is what I go for, but it's not like I'd rather work in excess for more of it. It's not my best interest to do that. I much prefer spending time on outside hobbies and with my family than doing any sort of overtime or anything like that that'll benefit me. It's not necessarily that I'm lazy. It's just that working for means to an end is exactly that, in my opinion. It's a means to an end. It's not meant to. For me, it's not this lifelong career struggle. It's not something. I'm proud of my education, my upbringing, and stuff like that. But I'm sincerely not real in love with being a sales rep or a salesperson for any company. I mean, I sell a product that I have no. I have personal use of it, but I didn't found the product or anything like that. So, in all honesty, it's to me, it's a job, and it's quite stressful at times. So, getting on here and entertaining you guys is really where it's at for me. I'd love for YouTube to one day become a big part of my life. Well, not a big part of my financial life, I guess I should say. I would love to be able to just do video editing and commentary for a living, which I know is very, very, very difficult to pull off. You need to get fame and all this stuff from it, and it's just very impractical to be able to make it happen. But it's something to work for, and it's definitely something that I'm okay with trying, I guess I should say. For the most part, I'm very comfortable with what I do. I just, I'm good at it. Cell phones have always been easy for me. I was always the guy that helped his friends and his family with with learning about the cell phones and stuff. And I'm not far enough out with this thing. I actually need to come in a bit further. I was always the guy that helped out. Hey Daniel, I don't know what's going on with my phone. It's broken or whatever. Here, come here, let me see it. Oh, you got to do this. I was always that guy. And honestly, any job sucks when you think about it. But particularly, it's kind of like, let me see how I can put this. If you like pizza, the last thing you want to do is get a job at a pizza joint, because you're gonna end up hating it. And I guess some of you might say, well, Daniel, the same thing might happen on YouTube for you. Well, I doubt it, because this is a little bit different. I think it's kind of like being a movie store, a YouTube store. I don't know any big YouTubers that are angry about their situation and all the positive feedback they get. There's some hate out there, and every once in a while people get that, they experience that, but honestly, I'm not worried about the few people that hate on the stuff that I do versus the majority of people that love it. Which is pretty funny for me to say, since I'm changing up the episode format and talking about non-Minecraft related stuff. But I want to be able to do more episodes for you guys, and it's I don't want to mention names or anything, but the person and the people who actually made the mention of me getting a little boring, I guess I should say, were right in the fact that if I focus too much on Minecraft, I'm gonna have to outdo some of the biggest talents on YouTube, and that's pretty hard to do. It's there are far more many talented builders than me. Just to clarify, I love this game, y'all. I really do. I love the dynamics of building things. When I was a kid, that's all I really freaking did, is build stuff with like Legos and things, I think I'm gonna do a double door here. But yeah, that's all I did, is build things with Legos and all of that good stuff. So being that being that, I just really really wanted to build stuff in Minecraft, and that was the easiest thing for me to talk about because I'm into it. But I do realize that it takes a lot of work to keep up with the demand of making constant improvements, and I'm planning on doing that anyway. So I guess the parties that be were right in a way that I really just need to focus less on the task at hand and more on just that you guys get to know me. So normally I'm a little bit more energetic than I am now. I'm actually up early in the morning and I've had coffee, but it's a little different for me. Normally I'm just used to flowing, but it's all good, I'm not worried about it. I think what I want to do to you guys is share some, I guess, past information, some stories, if you will, about things that have happened in my life that were very interesting, or that most other people besides me would consider interesting, I guess, besides just the current time and the present time and how I feel. So I'll start back by giving y'all a little bit of history. When I was, let's see, I need to find stone brick. My bad. I'm going to interrupt myself a few times here because I'm not used to this. But it started a while back when I think it was a good bit after college. Maybe when I was like, maybe 26, 27. I was living at an apartment complex in one of the major cities here around me, which is Lafayette, Louisiana. And like I mentioned before, I smoked for years. And smokers, when they live with people that don't smoke, they don't smoke where they live. They smoke outside of it, So I didn't want to smoke in the apartments that we lived in or the houses or anything like that. What I was concerned about more than that even is just the harmful side effects of secondhand smoke and the way it made the apartment stink and all that good stuff. But anyway, what I ended up doing is I'd smoke outside, and in apartments, everybody has balconies. So typically what you do is just go out on the balcony and smoke. Well, I did this one night, and here I am sitting here waiting to go and smoke a cigarette outside, and I ended up smoking my cigarette, and it was all good, and I went into the house. Well, this was at night. This was right before I messed up there. This was right before I did the this is right before I went to bed. And after I went to bed, I must have forgotten the lock off of the door. Sometimes it was late at night and I was just trying to get my last smoke in, and that's kind of when it went haywire. So I went ahead and I left the door open by accident, of course, and I went to sleep unknowingly, that it was left unlocked. Well, lo and behold, I had 4 dogs. No, I had 2 dogs at the time. I had my female that had passed away recently, Miss Higgins, and I had my male dog, Zachary, which Zach was the kind of dog that would bark at everything. I mean, if he'd tap your leg, if he'd hear a knock at the door, if he'd heard a noise outside, if a car blew its horn, you name it, Zach barked at it. And not just a little bit, a lot. Like, he was crazy. When Zach would bark, it was a little, you can almost tell, I don't know if any of you are dog owners, but you can almost tell when a dog barks and he's angry, you know something's up. Those windows are too tall. Alright, so I just need to knock out this last level here and just do it like I had it before. But anyway, Zach loved to bark, but as a dog owner, you can tell when a dog's angry or not. So, ouch, just like this zombie's angry. So for, I guess, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't know, it was real late, I forget the exact time. Here we are in bed, my wife and I. What did I just do? My ex-wife now, at the time we were married, we heard Zach barking in the middle of the night. and we dismissed it at first, but Zach was really going berserk, man. I mean, he was going nuts, and I can tell when I woke up that it wasn't normal. It's not like, he heard something outside and he just got a little perturbed and that was it. He was barking at something like it's almost like he saw something. So, or he was looking at something or seeing it, I guess I should say. So when I decided to, boy, I can't work and talk at the same time to save my life. So I decided to go take a look. And as soon, I sleep in my boxers. As soon as I start putting my pants on, I hear somebody start to shush my dogs. And y'all, I freaked out. It was not, I wasn't hearing stuff. Somebody was shushing my freaking dogs. So I was, as y'all can probably imagine, I was freaking panicking. My friends did not have a key to my house or anything like that. It's not like they can just come over whenever they wanted and open my doors up. Nobody had a key to my house. I was on the second floor at the time, so I couldn't see anything, but I was in a loft apartment. So, put my pants on. I have a handgun that I keep under my bed. Grabbed the handgun and looked over the the loft balcony and didn't see anything at all. So I was like, okay. I decided that I would walk down the stairs a little bit, kind of secret agent style, with the handgun in two hands around the side of my head and creeping down the stairs. So I make it down the stairs and no iron doors. I make it down the stairs and all of a sudden I see what appears to be a person that's in my house at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know who he is. He's laying down on the floor with no shoes on and socks. His socks and the bottom of his jeans are drenched. A young guy, probably about my age, probably in his early 20s at the time, laying down on my floor, face first. And he's moving, but you can tell the guy is out of sorts. He's either hurt or injured. I don't know at this point. I mean, it's pitch black in my house. The door's closed too, like he came in. He's laying on my floor. So I'm freaking out, and this guy's laying on my floor. So I say, "Hey, man." So he kind of picks his head up and starts to get up. And I'll make it the rest of the way down my spiral staircase really quickly. And I went and I pulled the gun on him, and I'm sitting back at my front door. It's kind of hard to explain or show you guys, but I'm sitting back at my front door, and let me make some sticks here. So I'm kind of holding him at gunpoint while I'm watching this guy just get up and start moving around. And I says, "Who the F are you?" And, naturally I was cursing at him. I was trying to scare the guy. He says, "My name's Matt." I said, "Well, Matt, I don't know who you are, dude, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You in my house, and if you do anything stupid, I'm going to blow your brains out. I'm calling the cops." Well, Matt starts to walk down, well, I would say crawl, because he didn't make it all the way up. He kind of just got on his hands and knees and crawled to the adjacent room, which was the kitchen. Now, when he did this, he kind of just sat down in the corridor, and right behind the door frame, pretty much. So only a portion of his body was showing. He's sitting on the floor, so like his knees are sticking out. He's kind of sitting Indian style. And out of nowhere, my freaking cat goes to start looking at him and stuff, and he grabs my cat and starts playing with him. So this guy's off his rocker. I'm holding him at gunpoint. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. He's in somebody else's house, and he's already been threatened that I was going to blow his brains out at gunpoint. And he starts playing with my cat. So Not that I relax any, but I rationalize, saying that this guy is definitely not here to hurt me. He's off his rocker. But I want to keep the intensity up so that he doesn't try anything stupid, just in case. Naturally, anybody that's stupid enough to do anything like this is probably on an intense amount of drugs. So I did not want to let that let that be the death of me by letting my guard down. So anywho, what I end up doing is, you know, I'm telling my wife at the time to call the cops, screaming, call 911. You know, this all happened in a matter of, oh guys, I don't know, probably about 20 to 25 minutes, but it seemed like a lifetime. Started, you know, yelling at the guy, I'll blow your head off if you move, don't you freaking move. Really just waiting for the cops to arrive. Cops finally arrive. Actually, apartment security arrives first. He comes in. I'm still holding the guy at gunpoint, you know, like I'm on one knee, you know, stooped down in the living room. At this time, the lights are on from upstairs. My wife had turned them on, and I'm, you know, I'm coaxing her. I'm like, come behind me and leave. And she's like, no, I'm not getting out of here. Well, she was just paralyzed, you know, in fear. The guy ends, they finally, the cops get there, the apartment security gets there, and he's trying to assess the situation, find out what's going on. And he tells me, you know, you can put the gun down now. So I put the gun down, and he ends up taking the guy by the arm and kind of pulling him out the kitchen. You know, so the guy stumbles up on his feet, and at this time the cops are just getting there, like the real cops, not the apartment security, the actual police department or the sheriff's department or whoever it was, start getting there, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Well, the guy starts crying, you know, because they're being cops to him. They're really letting him have it, like, you know, what the hell were you thinking going in this guy's house, and, you know, what were you here for? Were you trying to steal from him and all this stuff? And the guy's just like, I don't know what's going on, I want to go home. He's so freaking out of it. Okay, well, the cops are interrogating this guy and kind of bring him outside during this process. Like, they cuff him, they lift him up, and he is dragging his feet like he's dead weight, you know, so he's not going anywhere. He's going places, but he's resisting. So they get him to his feet, and he's kind of just dragging his feet outside. They go outside, and this time you hear another voice. I'm still inside at the point. You hear another voice like, hey man, that's my cousin. What are you guys doing? Come to find out, this guy was from out of town, and he was in the vicinity of not in the vicinity. I'm sorry. He was a visitor, so to speak. So he's visiting, and he just got mixed up with the apartments, apparently. Well, that's what his cousin's claiming or whatever. And the cops are like, you gotta be kidding, you know, what's this guy on, you know? And the guy's like, oh, he only had a couple of beers. He was like, yeah, whatever. I ain't never seen beer do that unless somebody had mescaline in it. So he's going on and on about he's innocent and everything, and the cops are like, well, we still taking him in because he's underage anyway, and he might be underage, and it looks like he's on drugs, so we're taking him in. So the guy's really freaking out, and he ends up taking a leap of faith. They finally brought him to his feet, and granted, we're on the story balcony, okay? The cops are getting him inside, and, you know, he's screaming and crying and doing all this stuff. Well, they end up just going, he ends up just going off the deep end and taking a leap. Now, balcony's probably 12, 13 feet up in the air. Yeah, it's deep. It's not a little jump, you know, it's not like these 8-foot ceilings. It's an apartment complex. So yeah, the guy just he takes a leap, and one of the cops actually catch him by the belt as he's jumping head first. Now the guy's in handcuffs, okay? So when he took a dive, he took a nosedive right off the side over the rail. So the scrawniest cop there, believe it or not, reaches out and grabs him, and catches his belt. I mean his belt, like his coattail. And the guy's dangling head first above the concrete. This guy would have broke his neck, probably killed himself if he would have ended up not being caught like that. So it was ridiculous, man. That was probably one of the craziest things that ever happened to me in my life. But needless to say, I'm a big supporter in having handguns now. You know, I really am really am a strong supporter of that. But I thought you guys would enjoy that story. The guy actually left us a letter, and he, you know, proclaiming that he was an honor roll student, and that he was, I mean, he was honors in college. No, he was a high school student, now that I think about it, because it was high school. He was an honor roll student, and he was trying to get into the military when he graduated, and he didn't want it to stop him from getting to the military. And if he would have got a breaking and entering, that it would have probably done that. So we knew it was you know, just a case of mistaken or drug use or whatever, but the military would have helped straighten that guy up if he was headed down the wrong path or whatever. And we realized that it wouldn't have done any good to press charges. It's not like he was there to hurt us anyway. If he would have been violent, naturally we would have, but that we didn't, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little story. We actually got a letter from him, you know, apologizing and stuff, and him telling us all that. So we never pressed charges, and we never heard from the guy back again. So I'm hoping that he went to the military and all that good stuff. Let's see how this is looking from outside, y'all. I really haven't been concentrating on too well on what we were doing. Yeah, it looks okay. I need to do some roofing around this side, and maybe do some offset here to make it go at an angle. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so the whole Cobblestone thing, the project's going quite well. I really want you guys to leave feedback on this episode. And like I said, all the episodes aren't going to be like this. I'm actually going to try to be semi-productive and tell stories like that too. But this episode, I really just wanted to get some information out for you guys. And I'd like to get back to closer to 20-minute episodes, and also uploads every other day for the Cobblestone Chronicles. But I need to know what you guys think first, if y'all want to see more of the fan service stuff, or more of the Cobblestone Chronicles stuff, or, you know, just you name it. Let me know in the comments. I'm probably actually gonna leave just a instead of having to dislike a video, because I know if you guys don't want to do, some of you don't want to do that. Not everybody just use the thumbs up, but a lot of people don't mind commenting, or at least voting on comments. So I'm gonna do this in the comments below. I'm gonna leave a section saying basically 3 comments, and I'm gonna do you know, I guess you could say, let's see how we can call it. We can say all building, all commentary, or half and half. That way, and not building as in talking, I mean building itself, because naturally I'm always going to be doing projects, but talking about building while I'm doing it, you know, and just staying on the Minecraft subject the whole time. So I am going to do some more work on this project, and I guess the next episode, guys, when we come back, I'll show you what kind of headway I'm making on the roof. I'm gonna have to integrate maybe a little ceiling, or maybe a junction up there, to kind of give it that governor's mansion type look. The next step is that we're probably going to go and do the tavern here, which I believe would be a good start to the market district. It'll probably take a few more episodes, and we'll just keep preparing for that next update. So until next time, you guys, this is Zueljin signing off, and have a good one.